David Muir, ABC's World News Tonight, America's most watched newscast. Now streaming same day with all the breaking news of the day on Disney Plus. Most watched, most trusted. Now on Disney Plus every night.
Tonight, we're following several developing stories as we come on the air. The severe weather stretching from the Great Lakes to the Gulf. President Trump calling on allies to help reopen a key waterway for oil shipments. And we're on the red carpet for the 98th Academy Awards. We begin with that wild winter storm. Hundreds of millions of Americans impacted over the next few days. Blizzard warnings in the upper Midwest. More than 100 accidents in Minnesota. Wildfires turning deadly in Nebraska. Flash floods in Hawaii cutting off neighborhoods. Our weather team tracking it all. Plus trouble in the skies. More than 2,000 flights canceled ahead of the storm. Travelers told to arrive 3 hours early for flights after hundreds of TSA agents quit because they're not getting paid during the government shutdown. Day 16 of the war with Iran. The president asking allies to help secure the Strait of Hormuz to get oil flowing again, but no promises yet. And growing concern about Russia and China. Both have been speaking with Iran. James Longman reports from the region. Economic shockwaves from gasoline to groceries. The price of gas up 75 cents and food prices set to spike. What the energy secretary told our Martha Raddatz about when oil prices will come down. Moving tributes to the 6 airmen killed when their refueling plane crashed in Iraq. One had just been promoted and leaves behind a young family. Another remembered as being exceptional. The violent outburst at an airport when authorities say a TSA agent was attacked. The suspect could face decades in prison. Heart-stopping video. A taxi cab slams into 2 women outside a deli. Remarkably, neither was seriously hurt. Selection Sunday, the day basketball fans have been waiting for, as tickets are punched for the NCAA tournament. And countdown to the Oscars. Lindsay Davis and Whit Johnson on the fierce competition for Best Picture. Will it be Sinners or one battle after another? Or could there be an upset?
From ABC News World Headquarters in New York, this is World News Tonight.
Thank you for joining us on this Sunday. I'm Mary Bruce in for Lindsay Davis. The 98th Academy Awards now just a few hours away. We'll have more from the red carpet in just a moment. But we begin tonight with the powerful cross-country storm slamming the Midwest and barreling towards the East Coast. More than 100 million Americans on alert now for severe weather. The storm pounding Minnesota. The State Patrol reporting at least 190 crashes on Saturday. Officials have issued a no travel advisory for the southern part of the state. Wisconsin declaring a state of emergency as it's blanketed with snow and blizzard conditions. And dangerous high winds are heightening the risk of wildfires, like this one in Nebraska, scorching more than 600,000 acres, killing at least 1 person. WABC's meteorologist Dani Beckstrom leads us off. And Dani, so much going on tonight.
Let's start with the snow, Mary. Blizzard conditions in parts of the upper Midwest and Great Lakes with heavy snow, gusty wind, creating those whiteout conditions. Let's take a look at the timing. Tonight, Chicago goes from thunderstorms to snow in a snap right around midnight as the heavy snow continues to fall. We'll total about a foot or 2 around Lake Michigan shores through Monday. This is the northern tier of that system that brings the severe threat to the eastern half of the country. Tonight, a tornado watch from St. Louis down through Shreveport as we're starting to see the first of those storms fire up. This tracks east through the Mississippi Valley, heads toward the mid-Atlantic as we head into tomorrow. Again, a widespread area seeing the threat for heavy rain, hail, strong tornadoes, and destructive wind. Tomorrow, it intensifies to a level 4 out of 5 risk. That's a moderate risk from Washington, D.C. down through South Carolina with a widespread threat for the destructive wind. A lot of wind in the wake of this system as well. Wind alerts from the Rockies up through New England. We're looking at fire alerts for the south, extreme heat watches with all-time records possible for the west. Extremes from coast to coast as severe weather season ramps up. Tonight, that powerful March storm sweeping across the Midwest and heading to the East Coast. More than 15 million Americans on alert for blizzard conditions, with over 100 million more facing a significant severe weather setup. That same system stirring up gusty wind, fueling fast-moving wildfires like this one in Nebraska. The deadly flames killing at least 1 person and burning through more than 600,000 acres so far. Parts of the upper Midwest being battered with heavy snow and high wind, next set to hammer the Great Lakes. Wisconsin under a state of emergency, blizzard conditions and near zero visibility creating hazardous road travel. This semi-truck spinning out in the middle of I-35 in the Twin Cities area. Other vehicles sliding off the snow-covered roads and into ditches. The storm disrupting air travel, more than 2,000 flights canceled, most at Midwest airports. And in Hawaii, a separate storm system triggering dangerous flash flooding across several of the islands, closing roads and leaving thousands without power. So the downpours in Hawaii, Mary, are brought in by the Kona low. That's a seasonal event that will continue into the work week. The heat in the west not only continues, but ramps up. Again, all-time March records could fall throughout the work week. We'll be watching that once we get past tomorrow's severe threat.
The extremes abound.
Yeah.
Dani, thank you so much. And you heard Dani just mention those canceled flights. So let's get right to Faith Abubey for more on the troubled skies. And Faith, what can you tell us tonight?
Well, Mary, airline passengers are riding through a bumpy stretch rocked by weather delays and cancellations. And so far this weekend, more than 2,000 flights have been canceled, a majority of them in the Midwest, including a Delta hub in Minneapolis, St. Paul. Thunderstorms triggering hours of delays in the Chicago area. Delta is now warning its customers that the recovery could take a while. A partial government shutdown is also adding to the travel woes. TSA workers received their first zero paycheck this weekend. More than 300 of them have quit the job, and call-outs have more than doubled since the shutdown. The TSA staffing issues have been spilling security lines out the door at some airports, including in Austin, Texas. Earlier today, we saw security lines here in Atlanta winding through the airport all the way through to the baggage claim carousels. Airline CEOs, including Delta, United, American, and Southwest, say federal workers being forced to work without pay is simply unacceptable, and they urge Congress to reach an agreement very soon. In the meantime, though, airport officials are urging travelers to arrive 3 hours early for their flight in order to navigate the TSA logjam. Mary.
You're going to need that extra time and extra patience at the airport. Faith, thank you. We turn now to the war with Iran entering its third week. The U.S. and Israel bombarding Iran. The Pentagon says it has reduced that country's missile capacity by 90% and its drone capability by 95%. But Iran not backing down, lobbing retaliatory strikes like this one in Tel Aviv. Here's ABC's chief international correspondent, James Longman.
No end in sight on day 16 of the war in Iran. Israel and the US expanding the scope of the operation. Dozens were reported dead this morning in an Israeli strike on an industrial site in Isfahan. That's according to the semi-official Fars news agency. And here, this residential neighborhood in Tehran, devastated. Iran continues to lash out in response. A strike on Israel today escaped missile defense systems over Tel Aviv. The Israeli foreign minister had this to say about the country's famed Iron Dome, reportedly running short on ammunition.
Can you confirm or comment on reports over the weekend that Israel has informed the United States that it is running low on missile interceptors? Is that correct?
The answer is no.
But the global impact of this war is playing out here at the Strait of Hormuz. Iranian attacks have essentially closed this vital waterway. The longer ships can't get through, the wider the ripple effects. The administration adamant, saying the war must continue.
Hey, there's no guarantees in wars at all. I can guarantee this situation would be dramatically worse without this military operation to defang the Iranian regime.
President Trump called on world powers to help keep the strait open, but tonight none have committed to that publicly, as the White House faces questions about why they didn't take steps to protect the critical shipping lane ahead of the war. UN Ambassador Mike Waltz says countries who rely on the oil coming through the strait need to step up.
Well, I'll leave those conversations to him. The conversations are ongoing. I think there's an important point that's getting kind of missed in the conversation.
Israel's front in Lebanon is tonight expanding too, as fears spread among the Lebanese that Israel will occupy the south of the country in their campaign against Hezbollah. More than 800 people have been killed here.
And Mary, as President Trump tries to expand a Western coalition to reopen the Strait of Hormuz, Iran is finding help of its own in China and Russia. Iran's foreign minister said today the military cooperation with both countries continues. Mary?
And lots of questions about that cooperation. James, thank you. Now to the economic fallout from Iran's chokehold on the Strait of Hormuz. Gas prices are rising, and everything from food to the cost of airline tickets could soon follow. Here's ABC's Elizabeth Schulze.
Tonight, the historic disruption to shipping in the Strait of Hormuz sending shockwaves across the global economy and putting new strain on American businesses and consumers. From the gas pump,
I can't believe what I'm saying.
to the grocery store.
Customers are smart. They realize that nearly every product on the shelf gets here by truck.
Oil now trading near $100 a barrel, up more than 50% since the war began, sending the national average for a gallon of gas up 75 cents in 2 weeks to $3.69 a gallon. Diesel now close to $5 a gallon. Our Martha Raddatz pressing Energy Secretary Chris Wright on President Trump's claim the pain will be short-lived.
How long should Americans expect for gas prices to be high?
This conflict will certainly come to the end in the next few weeks. Could be sooner than that.
Analysts warn oil prices are unlikely to go back down until shipping starts moving through the Strait of Hormuz. And then it could take months for countries in the Middle East to ramp up oil production again.
We expect oil prices to hover above $100 a barrel and maybe even spike in the weeks to come.
And it's not just oil prices spiking. Many American farmers rely on critical fertilizer supplies that are shipped through the strait.
Fertilizer prices have, I've heard it was up $150 a ton above what they normally are.
At Cutrell Farms in Virginia, fourth-generation farmer Heath Cutrell says the price of nitrogen fertilizer, essential for corn and soybeans, is skyrocketing.
We have a lot on the line from day to day, and at nighttime, sometimes it can be hard to sleep.
Jet fuel prices are also spiking. Cathay Pacific, Air India, and Air France KLM have already announced higher ticket prices to cover those costs. And United's CEO warned that airfares could go up quickly. Mary?
The ripple effects continue to grow. Elizabeth, thank you. And we are learning more tonight about the 6 Americans killed Thursday when their refueling aircraft crashed in Iraq. At least 13 American service members have now died during the war with Iran. ABC's Tom Soufi-Burridge in Tel Aviv tonight.
Tonight, moving tributes to 6 more U.S. service members killed in the war against Iran when their refueling plane crashed in Iraq Thursday. 33-year-old Major John Alex Klinner from Auburn, Alabama, had just been promoted. A father to 3 young children, his baby twins, just 7 months old. 2 of his colleagues from the 6th Air Refueling Wing at MacDill Air Force Base, Florida, were also killed. 31-year-old Captain Ariana Savino of Covington, Washington, a retired colleague calling her a good human who smiled every time she came into his office. And 34-year-old Technical Sergeant Ashley Pruitt of Bardstown, Kentucky. The 3 other US servicemen killed were part of the 121st Air Refueling Wing, seen here in a training operation last year on the same type of aircraft, a KC-135. The youngest, 28-year-old Technical Sergeant Tyler Simmons of Columbus, Ohio, also among the dead. He can be seen in that training exercise just months ago, making checks as his crew conduct air-to-air refueling in the skies over Morocco. Also on board was 30-year-old Captain Curtis Angst of Wilmington, Ohio, and 38-year-old Captain Seth Koval of Mooresville, Indiana. His wife Heather paying tribute to her husband in a post on Facebook, saying he was exceptional in everything he did.
And Mary, the Pentagon now investigating, saying the crash of that KC-135 refueling aircraft over Iraq was not caused by enemy or by friendly fire. Mary?
And our hearts are with their families tonight. Tom, thank you. Next here, President Trump is now facing fierce backlash over the ongoing war with Iran. From fundraising to social media videos, the administration pushing back against the criticism. Here's ABC's senior White House correspondent, Selena Wang.
Tonight, the Trump administration lashing out against criticism of the war in Iran. The president accusing the media of wanting the United States to lose the war. This as the country remains deeply divided. A new Washington Post poll finds Americans split. 40% oppose the war in Iran, 42% support it, and the rest are unsure. 2/3 say the president has not clearly explained the goals of the U.S. military. The latest Ipsos poll finds 6 in 10 Americans saying U.S. military involvement in Iran will go on for an extended period of time. But the president offering no clear timeline when asked when the war will end.
When I feel it.
Okay.
I feel it in my bones.
And the White House facing backlash for posting height videos on their official social media account, mixing footage of deadly American attacks with cartoons, action movie clips, and video games. And now President Trump's Political Action Committee using an image from the dignified transfer of the first 6 U.S. service members killed in the war to fundraise. and offering donors access to private national security briefings.
But they are treating this like some kind of video game, like some kind of thing that we should just be proud of the fact that we're blowing stuff up and using it for political advantage. That is not the way the United States of America should go to war.
And Mary, the Energy Secretary said today that this war could end within weeks, but as the fighting drags on, it's dividing the president's own base. Some influential supporters, including Joe Rogan, are now saying many of Trump's own backers feel betrayed after Trump campaigned on no more wars. Mary?
Selena weighing at the White House tonight. Selena, thank you. And now to the final countdown to the Oscars. It is going to be a momentous and historic night and sure to be jam-packed with entertainment. ABC's Whit Johnson and Lindsay Davis join us now from the red carpet. Whit, Lindsay.
Hi, Mary. Good evening from the red carpet. Things are heating up. People are arriving now because Hollywood's biggest night is just moments away.
Yes, 10 films are competing for Best Picture. The big question is, will it be Sinners or One Battle After Another who takes home that award? Both films have already made history heading into tonight. Sinners leading the way with a total of 16 nominations, followed by One Battle After Another with 13.
Frankenstein, Sentimental Value, and Marty Supreme, all Best Picture nominees as well, each with 9 nominations. There are a lot of potential firsts tonight, like in the Best Actress category. Jessie Buckley could become the first ever Irish woman to win for her role in Hamnet. History for Timothée Chalamet, too. He's the youngest male actor to earn 3 nominations in a leading role since Marlon Brando, saying he trained for 6 years to perform his gravity-defying table tennis shots.
And Emma Stone in Begonia breaking a record tonight at 37 years old. Stone is now the youngest woman ever to reach 7 Oscar nominations, beating out Meryl Streep by 1 year. And the host for the evening, Conan O'Brien, is back at it again. He says nothing is off limits and to expect surprises. Mary?
And we cannot wait for that. So much to look forward to tonight. Whit and Lindsay, thank you. And still ahead, charges filed after a violent encounter at the airport and the frightening crash. Remarkably, both victims surviving. Next tonight, terrifying video of a runaway taxi in New York City. The cab slamming into 2 women outside a deli on Saturday. One knocked to the sidewalk. The other was thrown into the deli's basement. Remarkably, first responders say they're expected to be okay, and we are thankful for that. In Dallas, a violent altercation at Love Field Airport. Authorities say a passenger became aggressive, punching 2 TSA officers and a Dallas police officer after trying to get through security without identification. Idris Solomon is charged with assaulting a federal officer and could face up to 20 years if convicted. And when we come back, Selection Sunday, which basketball teams are heading to the big dance? And it's almost time to fill out those brackets. Tonight, we're getting the schedules for March Madness. Both the men and women will have 68 teams. The men's tournament begins Tuesday, the women's on Thursday. And you can see all of the women's games on ESPN. And when we come back, why this year's Oscars could be one for the record books. And finally, will it be a night of firsts at the Oscars? Tonight, the battle for the biggest award of the night, one of the most competitive in years. Could it be Ryan Coogler's Jim Crow-era vampire thriller Sinners? Or Paul Thomas Anderson's action-packed political comedy thriller One Battle After Another?
Let's rock and roll! Let's go!
The Sinners director is familiar to the Academy. Coogler known for critically acclaimed movies like Creed, Judas and the Black Messiah, and Black Panther.
We be free.
I need you, brother. Sensei, please.
Courage, Bob.
For Paul Thomas Anderson, known for There Will Be Blood, Boogie Nights, and Phantom Thread, winning has long eluded him.
I need to find my daughter.
Well, then call us back when you have the time.
Somebody take me.
Sinners nominated for 16 awards tonight. If the film snags 12, it will break a long-standing record for most Oscar wins in a single night, besting greats like Titanic. But One Battle After Another could also break that record.
You know what freedom is? What? No fear.
The dramatic face-off now just hours away. I'm Mary Bruce. Thanks for watching. Have a good night.
David Muir, the most trusted anchor in America, the most watched anchor in America. Thank you for making World News Tonight with David Muir the #1 newscast in America.